you ended up in the human trafficking unit.
Yeah, so
Is
I
that
was
the safe term, or how does that
yeah,
work?
so I was in a district detective at Dorchester, and then I went for several years, like 5 years or so, to the human trafficking unit, and then I went back to Dorchester. But yes, I had a 5-year stint in the human trafficking unit as a detective.
So what is your definition of human trafficking? Let's just get that clear, because you hear so much, right? Like a few years ago, you would hear this social kickball that was big. This was big 4 years ago, and everybody notices it's gone now, right? Notice how the kickballs fly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's the big thing. Everybody's commenting on it online, and now it's gone, right? It's really out of the zeitgeist. I know there's still things happening, but notice how that happens, right? And everybody's like, you'd see memes online. It's like, tonight while you sleep, 1.5 million children will be taken on trains across America being human trafficked.
Yeah.
And you're like, what in the shit, dude? So what did you really see? What were you expecting when you got into that
So
space?
I didn't know, like everybody else, I didn't really know what that meant. I just, I knew someone asked me if I wanted to join the unit. And, I didn't know a lot about it. I thought it was just like the movies, like, people being snatched off the street and forced into to be prostitutes. In my experience, at least when I did it, that was not the case. So I guess human trafficking is like when someone's trafficked for the purpose of to sell sex, right, against their will through, coercion or force or threats or whatever. But when I got there, a lot of the cases we had, it's funny, there were just several pimps that kind of ran the city that were involved. You always came back to the same like 6 or 7 guys who always had all these different women working for them. And it was always girls, not always, I shouldn't say that. Mostly it was girls from the neighborhood, or just outside the city, like the suburbs or whatever, and something in their life like was fucked up, whether it was, a parent situation where they had one parent, or they'd been like sexually abused as kids themselves, or there was like a DCF, which is Department of Children and Families, like they were foster kids. It was always kind of something missing. It could just be they weren't getting attention at home, or they weren't happy. And the pimps, a lot of them could be very charming. And they would meet these girls. They'd just meet them in the street, go to the train station. They hang at the T in Boston, or one girl was the guy started talking to her when she was walking down the street, and like, oh, you're pretty, you want to be in a music video? And she's like a teenage girl, yeah, that'd be cool. And she went and like they shot the video, and then like say like we have to finish the video, and then they like make her go to another state and like oh, we're gonna take pictures of you and put you online, and you're gonna have sex with these guys for money. They don't get any of the money. The pimps get all the money. So that was a situation where it was kind of, she was not willing, like that was kind of a quick one, like over a week or two. But a lot of them, they groom the girls for a long time. Oh, you don't have any money? I'll give you some money. I'll take you to get your nails done, honey. I had one guy, I literally had text messages for like a month's worth, and you could see him grooming her. She worked in a store. I think her mother was deceased, and her dad now wanted to be a woman, and it was like fucking with her head. And he like changed his name to Susan or something.
Oh yeah.
And she met this guy working in a store, and he's like, oh, you working today, honey? I'll bring you a tuna sandwich, and I don't want you hungry. And you could see it was like, this progression of a relationship. And like a month later, she was like, oh, that's my boyfriend. A lot of them think this pimp is their boyfriend. And like a month later, you could see the messages. He's like, all right, we have 7 guys coming in, and, you're going to do all 7 of them at a party. There's like a bachelor party or some shit. And then she's like, can I keep, $100 for the piggy bank? And he's like, no, it's all mine. It was like $1,000.
Damn.
So it's like they see something missing in their lives, and they just manipulate them, or they're a little messed up to begin with. They're in a bad situation. They don't know how to get out of it. They think these guys are boyfriend. You'll do this if you love me kind of shit.
So that was a lot of the sex trafficking that you saw, huh?
Yeah, that was in my experience, yes. There wasn't a lot of people being snatched off the street. Like no one's being shipped in a shipping container from Russia, and all these girls getting, the nail salon, the spas are a little bit different. The Asian women, they were moving them around.
That's that more like
massage salons, but those were tough because the second we try to like go in and
they move.
They're gone. They're gone to New York. New Jersey. It's different women. So they're gone. They don't know their names. There's like how many different dialects of
Can't pronounce the name.
Chinese. And you're trying to get our Chinese officers, hey, can you translate this? And they're like, it's a different dialect. Like it was a disaster. So those were tough.
You don't even know. You're like, we're looking for
So we did those.
Yeah, that's crazy. That kind of shit's wild. And I don't like those kind of places. I'll say that. I'll walk into one of those salons or whatever. I say, if anybody jerks me off, I'm jerking them off. That's what I tell them. No homo
We
either.
had
I'm
some-
just
we
saying,
went-
but you know what I'm saying? I'll put the pressure on everybody in the building.
Just so everyone knows what you're going into.
Don't
when you
even
get in
jerk
there.
me off. If somebody tries to even sneak up on me and jerk me off.
Some of these girls would sleep in there. They would sleep on the beds
Yeah,
at
they
night when it
sleep and then
closed.
they wake up and jerk you off. That's the problem.
But one of them had, we went in one, there was sink, there were baby turtles in the sink filled with water swimming around. I'm like, what the?
They
the
like
fuck
the
is that?
animalia in there. They love aqua animals.
I
A
don't know
lot
if they
of
were going to make
aquarium.
soup out of it. I don't know what the hell they were
That's
doing.
true.
I don't know what they were doing with those things. We're like, what the fuck? I don't know. You know? And we also did, as part of human trafficking, and we did what we call John stings. We do target the sex buyer rather than, that's kind of it was a European model that they found to be more effective rather than, you know, cops used to arrest the prostitute. Well, what about the guy paying for it?
Of course, yeah.
So then you target that angle of it. Like, we're going to tell you, if you don't have buyers, then no one's going to be selling it. To try to do it kind of backwards that way. So we would do what we call John stings, and we'd put ads online. Backpage doesn't exist anymore, but we put them on that. It was Craigslist first, and then it was Backpage. I don't know how they're doing it now, whether it's on Insta or, you know, TikTok. I don't know where the hell they're doing it now. I've been out of the unit for about 6 years now.
You'd have parties and people would find people on Backpage and invite them over, you know, and like
Yeah.
they would hire strippers and stuff like that to come and dance or hang out. So it was definitely a place where people were kind of eliciting illegal activities.
Oh, yeah, that was there.
Yeah.
When you put an ad in, you could pay extra to bump it at the top. So it was so prevalent when we were doing it. Like, we'd put an ad in the morning. Say I put my ad on. We, like 3 or 4 of us in the office would do fake ads, and you'd have to do like real photos, because the guys who were doing it all the time, like, we'll do reverse Google image search to find out, did this picture appear someplace else, so they know if it's a fake photo, because then maybe you're a cop or you're not going to look like who you're pretending you look like. So we'd all put our ads up, and then you know, you put on at 8:30, your phone's ringing. It's crazy. 8:30 in the morning, they're already starting to call, and we'd set up our dates for the day. Like, we'd have a hotel room. And we'd be waiting in the hotel room, and we'd have dates set up every half an hour to show up.
And were y'all hiding under the bed?
No one's hiding under the bed. I would have to open the door, and there'd be like guys like in the bathroom, officers in the bathroom behind the wall. So my trick was, I was at like 45, 46 when I was doing it, and my ad, I'm supposed to be 34. I didn't fucking look 34, but I'd open the door, I'd have like my hair.
You would be the girl?
Oh, I was a prostitute, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Were y'all
So I'd have to
cutting-
talk to them on the phone.
What, were y'all understaffed or something? They just shouldn't have you, also the detective.
Well, no, you have to have, you're the one establishing probable cause. So if someone else is doing it, and then you have to like go testify in court, well, you're not the one that had the interaction with them. So what we do, we put our ad on the online. You'd put your photos and some stupid saying like, you know, what you're offering and how much it costs. So it's and of course it's acronyms for everything. That's what I didn't know anything about this before I started, about GFE, which is girlfriend experience, which means he'll kiss you. Full service means like sex and a blowjob. And then there's like Russian and Greek, and there's all these stupid acronyms for everything else. And they thought they were being clever by saying, oh, I want GFE. So they're not asking for sex.
Oh, I see.
So by them saying, I want GFE, or I want Russian, or I want this, they think they're being clever, except you can say like, well, based on my training experience, I know Russian means titty job, like, or whatever. And then so they call you on the phone.
A titty job.
Yeah,
boy,
that's a Russian, by the way. I didn't know that.
I'll take it. I mean, whatever they're getting, you know, I mean, it is. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's okay.
So you'd basically talk to them on the phone. They'd call you. And some of them are real nervous, obviously. You could tell the long timers. They got right to business. And some of them want to flirt with you on the phone or whatever. Oh, can you send pictures of your eyes or your feet? The foot fetish guys are out there big time. And then you're like, the more you do it, I'm like, I don't have time for this shit. Like, do you want to come? You were showing up or not? So you'd basically make the arrangement. So once they showed up, you already have probable cause. They always already agreed to pay you for sex before they ever showed up. So then by them showing up at the hotel, they're like basically completing the entire, the elements of the crime. They showed up. They already agreed to pay you for such and such. So then you can arrest them.
Right when they get there, really.
Yeah. But like, depending where we do it, if we did it like nights or downtown parts of the high-end hotels would let us use their rooms.
Oh,
give
yeah.
us a room,
Hyatt will let
whatever.
you do anything in there.
Every time we did it, we got a doctor. Every
Really?
fucking time. The Brigham Hospital, one of the best hospitals in the world, allegedly. The Beth Israel. One guy showed up in scrubs with like Beth Israel Hospital on it.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? You on lunch break? It was crazy. We got doctor every time.
Why you think?
I don't know. Too busy? Too busy to get a girlfriend? I don't know.
That could
I don't
be
know.
It. Or there, yeah. I wonder what that is. That's just
I don't know.
interesting.
We always got, and when we did it in like the not so nice parts of town, then we'd get like, you know, the cable guys and the plasterers. And for some reason, I always felt bad for them. They didn't have any money, but it's the same crime. So I shouldn't have felt bad for them. They were just, but I did. The rich guys, because they got very arrogant when you tried to arrest them. They were all arrogant. I had one guy who's a Northeastern University professor, and he was on the phone with me saying, I'm a professor, and he was trying to talk me down on my prices. I don't make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would text him, like, look, how about this? $70. I'd have some ladies coming over for $70. I'm like, Jesus. And now I'm like,
he was bargaining with me. I don't make a lot of money. Meanwhile, I made more money than me.
Yeah.
But I always laugh. He wanted me, he's like, will you put me in yoga positions? That's what he wanted. These fucking freaks. I'm like, yeah, I got my Lulus on. Come on over. Like, he wanted to be in yoga positions, me to put him in them, and then aggressive kissing.
And when you get some weird requests or anything like that?
Yeah.
Like anything pretty wild? Like were they any like people want you to enjoy them and their wife, like join something like that?
No, nothing. We never got those. We got a lot. Almost everybody was married. One of them we did. We met him in a bar. He said it was the end of the night. He was too nervous to come to a hotel. He said he'd never done this before or whatever. So we agreed to meet him downstairs. The hotel had a bar downstairs, and I was just sitting there. And now again, I'm supposed to be 34, and even 10 years ago, I didn't look 34.
I think you look great.
Well, I don't fucking look 34, but thank you. But so I'm sitting at the bar waiting, and the signal is for like me to touch my hair, and there's two cops down the end of the bar. And he comes in. I see him walk past. He comes in, and the bar is crowded. I see this guy walk in. I said, that's him. I knew it was him. You could tell like his face he wasn't like, hey, I just got to a bar and he's all chilled. He was like intense. And he walked right past me and went to the men's room. I looked at him like, that's him. He's got his fucking Burberry scarf on and his, $400 jacket.
Yeah.
And he came over and approached me. And
a librarian's son.
He tapped me and said, oh, my name or whatever. And then when they came up to arrest him, he fainted. We had so many guys faint or like collapse on the bed. His face, he was white as a ghost, and he just went down. So the officers like drag him out to the vestibule of the bar. We're like, we got to call this guy an ambulance. But he snapped to it, and he's crying and shit. And he's like, he's like 30 years old. Oh. And like, dude, and he's like, I'm so anxious all the time. I'm trying to get my wife pregnant. And I was like, you think you're going to get her pregnant by fucking a prostitute? Like, what is wrong with you?
I mean, it's worth a shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying.
You go fuck a stranger? And nobody wants to use a condom. That was bareback. That was another code.
Oh, they were doing
bareback.
Yeah,
that was a code. BBBJ's bareback
blowjob.
So they didn't want to. Oh, they got.
Here you go, bareback sex without condom.
Yeah.
BBB.
And they'll ask you how much extra. Like, how much will you charge me for a bareback? So none of them wanted to use a condom. So they're all going home to their families after fucking some rando who's having sex with 5 people that day.
Yeah.
Like, how many diseases?
Not to mention, what township was it in?
Just Boston.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So this guy's bringing I'm trying to get my wife pregnant. What are you bringing home? Yeah. Bottom bitch. That's the pimp's main girl. She's the one who runs it for him.
Really?
I see that in the terminology. Yeah.
Let's see some more terms here. The in call, the escort.
That's only B's. See? They go on forever.
Huh.
Yeah.
And were people ever asked, so I'm trying to think of anything, were people ever asking for like golden showers, urination type of things?
I never got asked for those. One thing they asked me for, the guy's like, will you do a handy? And I was like, is that a quick hand job? Like, I had no idea what the fuck it was. And my partner at the time is like Googling on the Urban Dictionary, like, what's that? And it was some crazy thing about choking, and she's on top and then you flip and he's on. I was like, how the fuck do they come up with these names? Like, what does that even mean?
That's all that Cirque du Soleil shit people are doing now.
Like, how is that a handy? Because I was like, what is that?
That's all that welterweight stuff, I think. I don't know what it is. What about, was there a lot of stuff like people want you to touch the hole in their butt or anything like that? Like any weird stuff like that?
No, they never got that specific on the phone. But they would ask for anal. That was Greek. They were like, will you do, one of them, their clever way, they're like, ooh, do you speak any languages?
Oh.
So then I'm supposed to say, yeah, I speak Greek and Russian. That's what I mean. They think they're clever. They have all these weird online forums where they talk about the prostitutes. They rate them. God. I forget what the page they used to rate them on. So that's why we had to change up our photos and use real stuff. Because these guys all talk to each other. The guys that do it all the time. Not the one-timers.
The lifers.
Or dabblers like yourself.
Dabblers, yeah. In and out. In and out. In and out.
Yeah, they talk to each other and rate the girls. It's crazy. It's a crazy life.
And when would a night like that for you guys end? Like, was there a certain point where you guys
we kind of call it. So like the calls would start coming in the morning, and we'd have hire overtime to transport all, because they'd be showing up. Sometimes they show up at the same time. We're like, oh shit, and they come into the same room. So we try to stagger the dates, and we'd have them schedule the area hour every half hour, whatever. And after like 8 or 10 hours, the boss would call it. We always did it Super Bowl weekend. It was Cook County in Illinois did a big funding thing for it. They got money from the feds and they all kind of agreed to do it. So at certain times a year, Super Bowls were always when we did it. So we'd call it a night after like after we arrested like 12, 14 people or whatever. She'd be like, all right, that's enough. Like,
so on
stop
Super Bowl
answering the
weekend,
phones.
you guys are so on most Super Bowl weekends, you guys are doing that.
We were when we were in the human trafficking unit, yeah. But we got one guy. I was talking to him on the phone. I'm like, this guy is so fucking old. Now I'm laughing. I was very shy about it when I first started doing it. But I don't know who the hell. I'm not a prostitute. I don't talk to these people.
Yeah.
So I'd be all anxious, like hiding in the bathroom. So there's just 8 cops in there. I don't want them listening to me like, yeah, you can stick in my ass for an extra 50. Like I was embarrassed. And then I got more comfortable and they would just be laughing. Like I'd just be like, yeah, this is what you want. Okay. And everybody's laughing. One guy,
come on my forearms or whatever for $30. Yeah.
Sounded so old. And he's like, you got to, I'm an older gentleman. And I remember saying, that's all right, I'll take it easy on you. And then he shows up. He's like shorter than me. Turns out he's like a multimillionaire philanthropist from Beacon Hill on the boards of like Children's Hospital and all this crazy. He laughed. He burst out laughing when he got arrested. He was a tiny little guy with glasses. He laughed. Everyone else shits himself or gets angry. But he laughed. He's the only one. He didn't give a shit. He said, yeah, I'll pay the fine. I don't care. Just get my phone back. We take all their phones. And I remember I was doing a detail at Fenway Park and he was in contact. He's like, I paid my fine. Can I get my phone back? Because we take their phones as evidence. We have to show their text messages or whatever. And if they pay the fine or plead out, they get their property back because the case is done. But if they're fighting it, then we keep the evidence because we have to, do a search warrant on the phone and all this stuff. He's like, yeah, I paid my fine. He literally, he showed up at the Red Sox. I'm like, I'm working in detail. Like, you can come and get it. So I was in uniform that day because normally I'm not in uniform. And he showed up and he's laughing in the car. I'm like, here's your phone. I'm like, what's the matter with you? Like, we got money. Go get a girlfriend. He's like, it's not worth the trouble. I was like, all right, have a good day.
Yeah.
He did not give a shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, dude. Did you ever just like accidentally just hook up with one of them? Like, did that ever happen?
No, that didn't happen.
Like, did one ever show up and you're like, oh, this guy's kind of cute. I wish it wasn't like this.
No, I never thought I wish it wasn't like this. But some of them weren't, that's what we say. Some of them are good looking. You're like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're good looking. We used to say, like, you're a good looking dude. You can get a girlfriend. Some of them are like fucking grotesque. Like, you could see why they're paying for it. Like I said, the doctors don't have time, maybe. I don't know. They don't want the commitment. But some of them be good looking dudes. Like, what's wrong with you?
I think for some guys, they have their sexual experience, especially if it starts off with pornography, a lot of times is really skewed.
Well, that's an issue now. They don't know what's real life,
Right, but they don't. But then if it starts off with pornography, it's very skewed, right? Because this is an environment that's kind of like, you can get exactly what you want out of pornography. You can just put the terms in, you get what you want, and that's your intimacy. So that's how you build it, right? So then it almost makes it's not right. Doesn't make anything right or anything like that. And some people agree. Like prostitution is one of the oldest businesses in the universe, right? It's always been there. But some people, the closest way they can get somebody is almost just they're trying to create the same thing, but in real life, right? So like, I need to create the same thing where it's like, I can kind of get what I would like.
Yeah.
These are my Google terms. These are the things that I like, and I'm going to pay for that.
They don't want to waste time, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, I think some people for sure it's time. It's like, I don't want to have a big relationship. I just want to have some sex.
I don't want to take someone out to dinner every, twice a week and spend hundreds.
And there's a lot of that goes on, and I don't look down upon any of it. I just think it's interesting that, but yeah, the laws are the laws in those, and that's just what your experience was like with them.
So what I learned, like it's like, hey, if a girl wants to do it, but in reality, I think 99% of the time, they're not making a dime.
Oh,
so they're doing it all, and the pimp's taking all the money. So that's why I was like, well, that sucks. Like I had like one girl who was like, no, this is how much I make, and she does what's something called sissy play, and I was like, what's guys who like not want to get hurt, but close to, not like sadomasochism or whatever. But she made a lot of money. She's like, I make, $500 an hour or whatever. And I was
That's
like,
weirdo, guys.
Shit. My partner would be like, we need a new job when we retire. Like, what the hell?
I know a dude like
but
that.
But she kept her own money, but literally out of everyone else I ever met, they didn't keep it. They had to hand it over. So guys think, when we tried to do it as like an education thing, we tell the guys, when we arrest them, like, we're not doing this to her, because they're always like, don't tell my wife. Like, everyone would panic.
For sure.
Say, look, it's kind of was supposedly at the time like an education thing. We're trying to make you aware. These girls, you think it's you're doing something and you're paying for the service, they're giving you the service, and everyone leaves happy. But the girls weren't getting the money. They were getting the shit kicked out of them half the time.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Happy stuff. I hated telling people I worked there because it was like a conversation killer. Like you'd see people's shoulders just droop. You're like, oh, you work at the improv unit? They're like, oh. So,
Well, I'm sure,
nothing good there. Nothing good happening there.
Well, it's just interesting how perverse like sexuality can get and the things that cause it in our world, you know? It's another thing why they even allow pornography to exist. Like, I don't know if we need it, like as readily available as it is. We had a woman come on named Lila McElwaite, and she was telling us that a lot of the pornography you see online, it's non-consensual, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you could have somebody basically masturbating or watching and enjoying a crime, and they don't even know it. So
they don't know.
Just the whole
It's
circle of it all is kind of depraved.
It's the same thing.
But then I have friends that do sex work, and they work for themselves, and they're masterful at it.
Fair enough. If they're working for themselves and they want to do that and they're making the money, that is victimless.
Yeah. And I think, and people may have issues with people on both sides of the transaction probably have some issues.
Yeah.
And may or may not. It could be different. But anyway. Yeah, that would just be. But yeah, some people are in a weird stuff. I had a buddy, he would hire a woman just to tickle him until he shit himself.
Oh, fuck. This is some weird shit out there. There's a lot of fetishes, man. That's why I started putting my feet in the photos because I was like, I got to get the foot fetish guys.
Yeah.
Because people want some. Like the guy wanted me to put him in yoga positions. Mm. How does that do it for you?
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Like you said, the guy wanted to tickle till he shit.
Yeah.
That's a really specific wish.
Oh, if you tickle
like,
me.
How do you get there?
Yeah.
How do you get there and go, like, were you tickled as a kid? And we're like, oh, no, I'm going to shit myself. And then as an adult, that's what it does it for you?
Probably. I don't know,
bizarre.
Where you watch a funny movie and then you have to pee. Like, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how you start.
I don't know how you get there.
But yeah, if somebody tickled me to last shit, I would be upset.
Right?
I think overall.
I think most would.
Did you ever feel like you had to be like a protector for these women, or did a lot of them feel like they were in their own space and that's what they wanted, and it's not something you can really help with? Like a lot of the women.
It was a lot of the case. It was a lot of. I feel like you're just banging the head off the wall, going nowhere. You help somebody, get them away from somebody, you get them into it's like a safe home. Like there was a woman who ran a nonprofit, a place to put these people, get them some clothes. Like a lot of them. They'd steal their shoes and their IDs and their phones or whatever, so they couldn't run away. So you find them a place to stay and, get them Target gift cards so they can go buy like a toothbrush and some soap. And then like in the middle of the night, they jump out the fucking window. Yeah. So like you're like getting called out of your house at 10 o'clock at night to go help somebody. And then they're like, oh, well, she's gone. And so many of them ended that way. Or they just disappeared. They wouldn't testify against them. So the cases went nowhere. So it was a little frustrating.
Yeah, I think it's people, you can't help people till they are ready for some help.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about was there any gay pimps out there? Was that kind of thing?
I don't know.
Or did a guy ever lie and say like when you busted him, like say you set him up with a female prostitute and he just like he was like I'm gay, I'm just joking, happy Halloween or whatever,
No, they never tried that. I mean, the jig's up as soon as they show up. Most of them knew it. They like fall on the bed, and a couple of them cry. Like, really?
Yeah.
But no, none of them. No one ever tried to show the gay card. And be like, it wasn't me. Yeah. I'm just here for fun.
Yeah, I was just joking.
Just fucking with you.
Yeah, dude.